ও হুম, যা হয়েছে। হুম, হ্যাঁ, ঠিক আছে। হুম, ঠিক আছে। ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে। হুম, ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে। হুম,
Rain outlines your fate. Know my sword, Rain Cutter. Swirl, Mark 2. Annihilation mode.
Use the force.
Body and mind.
Close your eyes. Be silent. Steady when night falls. Close your eyes. Night falls.
Weapons need regular maintenance. Take good care.
Everybody stand back! Time for takeoff.
Maria sweeping in! Up the ante! Thunder!
can get away? Yes, just like that. This will be more than enough to assassinate Varka. I'm going to assassinate Varka. I need ideas for assassinating the Grand Master. I went over this with Alice a long while ago. She stands with me, and has even offered several ideas on how I might take him out. Of all her suggestions, this one seemed the most promising. Bring a full cart of Mondstadt's newest dandelion wine all the way here, and then, before Varka's very eyes, tip the entire cart over the cliff. Perhaps the monumental, overwhelming grief will make him collapse, or go drown himself in whatever other wine he can find.
That doesn't sound like it'll work. Wait, no! Don't even think about doing something so hot.
When writing a novel, the author, naturally, seeks to be as extravagant as possible, especially when writing detective novels. If the opening lacks a striking turn, how is the rest of the plot meant to unfold? Alas, this will be my final attempt at writing detective novels. Oh, I suppose they call them crime novels in Inazuma. In any case, they all tell of crime. There's hardly a meaningful distinction. I also discussed it with Barbie, but our novel writing sessions always evolve into crime planning sessions. Methods of crime, the angel killer case. Try as they might, the culprit remained elusive. The desperate detective rushed into the crowd, then shouted the revered names of the 4 great rulers at the sky. Whoosh! Pitter-patter. Boom! Detective and murderer reduced to ash.
What kind of writing is that? Doesn't that leave no room for deduction at all?
Of course there is. It was only through painstaking deduction that the detective finally discovered the names of the 4 great rulers, learning also that shouting them at the sky would inevitably reduce one to ash. My point exactly. Simply deducing who the culprit is has become dreadfully unoriginal. The subject of one's deductions must be something more creative. I even thought of having us all Seelies love to... come to think of it, the Seelie detective and the angel... It's precisely because I overthink every little detail that I've lost interest in continuing. Not to mention the mountain of words I'll have to write. The very thought of penning all those words. Oh, what a hassle. And I can't even get a ghostwriter for this one. I'll just work on the angel killer case instead. But how might the detective deduce the truth? Perhaps he could have a conveniently informative...
The Adeptus arts are most... miraculous, but... This one... It's called... States the... Mind... while cultivating these arts. All their feats will be like the moon's reflection on water, shattering at the slightest touch.
Huh? Where'd this letter in our bag come from? Did it just blow in on the breeze? Oh, it's from the tone-deaf bard. Apparently, he wants to hear all about our adventures in Nodcry. Maybe we can get some tasty treats out of him in return. Come on, let's go to Star Snatch Cliff.
Welcome back, old friend. And how should I be addressing you these days? The honorary knight of Mondstadt? The Tumaini of Natlan? Or the great hero of Nodcry?
Well, you sure have your finger on the pulse. We've barely caught our breath since Nodcry, but it sounds like you've already heard about what went down.
News travels fast on the wind. But before I can turn your tales into tunes, I need to hear them from the horse's mouth. My wine and my lyre are at the ready. So please, traveler, take a seat and tell me. Amazing! Incredible! The Rapier of Solnari and the Doctor? Truly a tale for the ages! So I'm guessing the Wild Hunt is a thing of the past now that you've defeated the Rapier of Solnari?
Seems that way. We were kind of focused on dealing with the Doctor, though.
Well, that's good to hear. Hey, now that the Northern Abyss calamity is finally resolved, Varka must be getting ready for the triumphant return of his expedition. I haven't seen him in the longest time. He must have so many stories to share.
Right! Paimon was wondering about that too. He did call you Barbados. But weren't you still fast asleep back when he was in Mondstadt?
Let's call it half asleep. I was resting my eyes in the Thousand Winds Temple one day when I heard a commotion outside. It was a young knight who had journeyed there in search of trials and oracles after hearing some tall tales at the local tavern. In fact, all that awaited him were moss-covered walls and an angry ruin guard. But he seemed completely unfazed, laughing heartily as he sent the ruin guard's missiles flying off into the horizons.
Huh! They must have been making quite a racket if it was enough to wake up the tone-deaf bard.
Yeah, it sounded kinda like...
Hey! Is that a... Oh, bring it on!
like that.
Giving up already? You're not half as tough as Varka said.
A young knight of Favonius trekking out to the Thousand Winds Temple in search of adventure. Huh.
A bard in green clothes. Does this mean... Oh, you're Venti? I was just wondering I was gonna track you down.
Oh! So you were looking for the tone-deaf bard? Strange place to start your search.
Hold on. Blonde hair, white hair. You must be the honorary knight. And Paimon! The Grand Master talks about you all the time. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Lowen, Vice Captain of the 5th Company of the Knights of Favonius and a member of the Expeditionary Force. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Oh, so you're part of the expedition, huh? Right! So that's why Paimon's never seen you around in Mondstadt. Hey, wait a second. We never saw you in Notcry either.
That's probably because when the Wild Hunt was still running rampant, I spent most of my time out on my own, making mincemeat out of monsters. I barely went back to base at all. Then, once the Wild Hunt calmed down, I got sent back to Mondstadt. Mixed blessing, if you ask me. Sounds like I missed out on some serious action.
No wonder we never saw you while we were dealing with the doctor. So, why did Varka send you back?
Deliver some letters. There's one for the Knights of Favonius, one for the church, another for the Dawn Winery, at least 10 of them in total.
Jeez, how many people has he sent to deliver his mail now? Mika, Inefa, Lowen. He should just hire a full-time mailman already. In fact, he's earned himself a new nickname. Let's go with... Sir Writes-A-Lot.
I'll have you know that poetry and letters were humanity's earliest means of expressing their thoughts. So, tone-deaf or not, I wear the title of Bard with pride. And I consider Sir Writes-A-Lot to be quite a compliment.
Wait, really? Darn it! Maybe Paimon should come up with some harder-hitting nicknames for these two.
Anyway, since this young man has come all the way to the Thousand Winds Temple looking for me, I assume he must have a letter for me too.
You sure are. To use the Grand...
This one is for the bard in green clothes. These days, I think he goes by Venti. Doesn't really have an address as such. You could start by asking around in Mondstadt, or maybe try your luck at the...
I figured that since there was this punching bag here, ruin guard, I could get some practice in while I was at it. So, I came right here the second I got back to Mondstadt.
That Varka is so slapdash sometimes. It's a good thing we happen to be nearby.
Oh, he also said to remind you to write back.
Nothing in particular. Just some idle chatter between two drinking buddies. But if Varka gave you a whole bunch of letters to deliver, right? Maybe you can head into Mondstadt.
My thoughts exactly. Assuming I can find the way. Hopefully the roads haven't changed too much since the pre-expedition days.
Well, why don't we have Mondstadt's honorary knight escort this homeward-bound wanderer to the city? I'm sure some of the recipients of Varka's letters will turn out to be old friends.
Let's go! It's been a while since Paimon's done any guide work.
Thank you so much, honorary knight. And you.
The Abyss. The Wild Hunt. Andreas, get home safe, Varka.
Why do my ears feel so hot all of a sudden? Is someone Surely there's no way anyone found the secret stash of cash in my office. That would be...
Grand Master, bad time to get distracted.
Watch out! Enemies approaching!
Huh? Oh, it's just a few stragglers. They're no real threat to us. This expedition is almost over. We just need to deal with these final few targets, and then... we will make our triumphant return! Stormwind!
Without the Rapier of Solnari to direct them, it seems like all that's left is their primal urge to destroy.
If this is all that the Wild Hunt can muster now, surely the Lightkeepers of Nodcry will be able to deal with what's left.
Just like I thought. What we should be wary of now is...
Grandmaster, based on Lightkeeper intel and our own reconnaissance, one of the suspected targets should be just up ahead.
Good. You know the drill. Stay here and stand guard. Leave the rest to me.
Yes, Grandmaster!
We meet again, Andreas.
So, you've returned from Mondstadt. Don't you want to see what it looks like now? I was planning to take a look around there myself. Perhaps you could be my guide.
What's this? An echo from 1,000 years ago? Everything seems normal so far. Here's hoping I'm just overthinking things. It's your turn, my friend. Come, Andreas!
Although, for returning to your old home, perhaps Andreas is a little too ostentatious. Might be better to go by...
Boreas.
Huh?
Injustice. Corruption. Iniquity. Is the surface world still as wretched and foul as ever? Answer me, heir to the knighthood of Boreas.
Looks like I'm not getting out of this without a fight. That's where things stand with the expedition. P.S. I hope everyone's keeping up with their daily trip. P.P.S. I wrote individual letters for each and every one of you. Don't forget to write back.
Everyone gets one? Wow! Sure writes a lot.
I guess the Grand Master must have something specific to say to each of us. Even I got a letter, and I'm not a real knight yet.
Jean? Oh, yes. That's our Grand Master for you.
By the way, anyone know where I can find the cavalry captain? I have a letter for him as well.
You mean Kaya? He said he was meeting a friend from the church at the Angel Share. Allegedly for work. Said he was exchanging intel. But I'd say there's a 50-50 chance he's just there for a drink.
Paimon bets there'll be lots of familiar faces there. How about we deliver Kaya's letter? And these other two as well?
Really? Oh, that would be a great help, thank you.
Our thanks to you too, Lowen. The other knights will help distribute the remaining letters. You've...
Great, but I won't be resting just yet. I have one last letter to deliver to Wolvendom. I heard that another challenger recently passed Boreas' trial. Well, with any luck, that wolf might be willing to reveal himself to me, too.
Very well, but please remember to show respect to the local wolves.
I will. Goodbye.
Okay, we'll deliver these letters to the Adventurers Guild and the Cat's Tail. You can just handle the ones for the Angel Share.
The expedition is...
Hello. May the Animo Archon protect you.
The Grand Master wrote in his letter that the Boom Blossom bombs we sent worked really well. He wants to know if we've made any more.
Uncle Varka's coming home? Yay! I can't wait to go outside and play with him!
Honorary Knight, you're still here? Is it that obvious?
Huh? But Varka's coming back. The situation in Nakrai is stable. Surely things are looking up.
True. From what you and Lowen have told me, the expedition has indeed accomplished its... It seems that Mondstadt no longer faces any threat from the perils of the north, be they the Wild Hunt or the Dock. And yet, for some reason, I can't help but recall something the Grand Master said to me before he left.
If I don't make it back from this expedition, you'll have to assume the mantle of Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius. If it comes to that, remember to train... I've planted some promising seeds in Mondstadt. If it comes to that, remember to train the next Knight of Boreas in my stead. I've planted some promising seeds in Mondstadt, but they still need time to grow. Some have yet to master the art of social interaction. Some don't yet understand that they too need protecting. And some, well, some might not even want to be a knight yet. What's wrong? Well, there's no need to frown. I'm going on an expedition, not marching to my death. This is all just a contingency plan in the event that until I return. I leave them in your care.
The lineage of the Knights of Boreas has nearly been extinguished twice in Mondstadt's history. The first wandering knight to claim the title arrived in Mondstadt 1,000 years ago, along with his wolf companion. He was as free as the wind. He left no succession plan behind. Even his name was lost to history. The title of Boreas could have disappeared from Mondstadt just as he did, but he had an informal disciple, a knight named Ravenwood, who admired the Knight of Boreas greatly. Ravenwood's valor and swordsmanship earned him the wolf spirit's recognition when the old aristocracy tried to regain power. Ravenwood came once more to Mondstadt's defense. From then on, the title of Knight of Boreas was passed down from generation to generation within the Knights of Favonius.
Wolf spirit? You mean that big blue wolf in Wolfenden?
Correct. As you may already know, the Wolf of the North is the surviving spirit of an ancient god, and the Knight of Boreas serves as an intermediary between him and humanity. Lupus Boreas, who had never known what it meant to love, came to understand it through the journey with his human companion. In the end, he chose to allow his power to become one with the land. This was once a well-known tale in Mondstadt, but these days, few people are aware that the starting point of the Wolf King's journey was not Mondstadt, but Nodcry.
Huh?
You don't seem surprised. Did you sense something in Nodcry? Once again, you do us proud, Honorary. The great Wolf King of the North came here from Nodcry. Although he doesn't like to speak of his past. In fact, he rarely shows himself to people as such. This tale can only be found deep within the Knights of Favonius library. Even among the Knights of Favonius, the Grand Master didn't disclose any concrete objectives before departing on his expedition. I couldn't help but wonder whether it might somehow be related to Nodcry. I kept my speculations to myself, however. Sharing them would only spread unwarranted suspicion toward the Four Winds among the people of Mondstadt. You experienced the turmoil caused by Duvall and the East Wind's actions for yourself. Surely you can understand my concern?
No wonder Varka wasn't clear about his motives. Is that what he was worried about?
Very possibly. He was probably also reserving judgment. Having heard about your experiences in Nodcry, and as it turns out, the calamity born in the north wasn't an ancient god, but rather... Yes, I completely agree. The tide can turn rapidly, and even if his contingency plan never needs to be put into action, I'm sure the Grand Master is relieved to know that it's in...
That turned into a pretty long conversation, huh? We should probably go deliver those letters to the Angels share now.
Anything the Knights can do for you?
The light shines bright. Behold the dawn. Done.
The hunter. The hunting.
the advantage! Press the advantage. Light compels you. You're open.
Be cleansed.
Another test subject.
Charge! Fall in! Everyone on me! Press the advantage! Press the advantage! While the light, you got the target acquired. You're in my sights. Press the advantage. Be gone, Shadow of Darkness! Press the you're in my sights. Target acquired. While the light, you got this. You're in my sights. Press the advantage. Rally! Rally! Press the advantage! Advance! Rally! You're in my sights. Be gone, Shadow of Darkness! You got this!
Ad Astra. Thank you for complete. Ad Astra.
While the light shines bright!
When you're mixing drinks in hot weather, start by pouring in cold water and add ice cubes. Then drain out the water before adding the other ingredients. How's that for a secret recipe? Maybe it's worth a little intel in return.
Please. I've known that little trick for a good 10 years at least. You'll have to offer something a little more substantial if you're serious about trading.
I know there's no one else in the tavern right now, but do you two really need to talk so loudly? Especially if you're supposed to be exchanging confidential information.
Kaya! Rosaria! D-Luke! Paimon knew we'd find you here!
Looks like it's about to get even noisier.
A little...
Looks like it's about to get even noisier.
Please allow me to once again express my sincere condolences regarding your late father and the incident with Eric. We make absolutely no excuse for his crimes. I hope you will give some serious consideration to the question I asked you before I left, though I'm sure you're tired of hearing me ask by now. The Knights of Favonius will always welcome you.
From the look on your face, I'm guessing the Grand Master is still refusing to drop it?
He nags like an old man. It's hardly surprising.
Huh? Drop what? What's this about?
Nothing, really. Before leaving on the expedition, Varka came here to chat with me over a drink. I failed to avoid him. He, asked me if I'd consider rejoining the Knights of Favonius, and I declined. He expressed his regret about everything that happened, and asked me to reconsider. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, right. Sounds like you skipped a lot of details. There's clearly more to it.
Whatever details I chose to omit are in the past. Dragging them back up now serves no purpose.
You say that now, but back then, you couldn't let it go. You and the Knights of Favonius were constantly at odds.
I wasn't seeing the full picture. I've had a lot of time to reflect since then. But my answer remains unchanged. I'm not rejoining the Knights of Favonius. Both the Grand Master and the acting Grand Master are too upright and honorable. I can't see the shadows that lurk beneath them due to the size of the organization they lead. They need someone on the outside to keep watch vigilantly.
If I had a Mora for every time I've heard you repeat that argument. I actually don't disagree with the first part of what you said, but don't you think someone can keep tabs on things from the inside?
When you join an organization, you're bound by its rules, no matter how free it may seem on the surface.
You think so? Never mind the Knights. Have you honestly ever been bound by the rules of the Church?
Good question. Have you considered that maybe that's why I chose to join the Church and not the Knights to begin with?
Are they arguing or not? It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, kind of like the contingencies Jean was talking about. The more ways they have to protect their home, the better.
My reply won't be a long one, as usual. I'm sure Varka won't be surprised. My reply won't be a long one, as usual. I'm sure Varka won't be surprised.
What should I report back to the public order inside the city? Monster activity in the wild? Oh.
I need to learn to handle my booze better.
Come, my friend. Wine and adventure.
If you hadn't had to deliver that guy's mail, you wouldn't have been subjected to all this tedious arguing. When I write back, I'll tell him to quit making trouble for other people.
It's no trouble. Lowen did most of the work. We just volunteered to do the last leg of the journey. Mostly so we could come...
So you see what's really going on here? All three...
Huh? Scheme? What do you mean? Was Varka...
No. While I'm sure Varka knows full well that Diluc would never agree to rejoin the Knights, I believe the sentiments he expressed were genuine, as was his offer to welcome Diluc back. There are people like Kaya and I, and then there are those who are true champions of justice to the core. Those people are the most susceptible to being driven to extremes by great upheaval. It's happened in Mondstadt before. Not only that, but it happened to a Knight of Boreas. That'll really hit home for Varka. And that's why his nagging is even more persistent than usual. Yeah, So no one's told you this before? The lineage of the Knights of Boreas has nearly been extinguished twice in history. The first was at its inception. The second was the case I was alluding to.
Oh! Wasn't Jean telling us about this? Wait.
I happened to hear about it from Varka once when he was drinking and started yammering on. The second crisis in the Knights of Boreas lineage. It was 500 years ago. Although the Knights of Boreas are meant to be intermediaries between humans and wolves, in practice, very few of them, of those who have, the best known are the first Knight of Boreas, Ravenwood, the wolf pup Rostam, and But 500 years ago, he was a disciple of Rostam. They thought he would become the mightiest Knight of Boreas who ever lived. He was the perfect knight. Righteous, principled. His name was Roland, the blood-stained knight.
Yikes! Bloodstained Knight? That sounds a little
Well, apparently his original title was the White, but he lost countless comrades during the Abyssal Calamity 500 years ago, including his tutor and mentor, Rostam. The endless bloodshed stained his sword and armor a crimson as deep as black, transforming the White Knight into the Blood-Stained Knight. After that, he threw himself completely into battling monsters, leaving Mondstadt and the Knights of Favonius behind. To this day, it's hard to say whether the loss of an important figure in his life is what drove him to the point, but had he known that the Knights of Favonius would always welcome him back. Perhaps. So if you want my opinion, the reason why Varka keeps asking Diluc to rejoin, despite knowing that he'll never say yes, is to let him know you're not alone. After all these years, he's still as persistent as ever. Just like how he used to be with me.
Huh. Turns out Varka's a lot more thoughtful than he lets on. Paimon had the wrong idea about him. Anyway, there's still something about this whole Boreas. If so, why did Jean say that Boreas and the Wandering Knight only arrived here just 1,000 years ago? Plus, Paimon's super curious about what happened to Roland. That's a great idea! Jean said he hasn't been showing himself. What's going on here? Was Wolfendom always like this? Paimon has a bad feeling about this. The Wild Hunt? What are they doing here? Watch out!
Charge! Press the advantage. Press the advantage!
Without further ado, lofty wisdom will show us the way.
Oh, are you all right? Oh no! What now?
Stop right there! Answer me this. The 2 letters I gave you, who are they for?
2 letters? Wasn't it 3?
Okay. Well, Paimon's coolest naive expression doesn't appear to be an act.
Hey! What are you trying to say? Wait, Paimon passed a test? Really? Huh! She didn't even realize she was taking—
You may dispense with your suspicions. The wolf pack has borne witness. A familiar scent.
Well, if the boss of Wolfendom has vouched for you, I guess I should apologize for doubting you just now. Sure was. Something seems wrong with that old wolf, though. Go on.
Lupus Boreas, not injured. Why so weak? Am I not strong enough?
You are not to blame. With your Iron Claw, you successfully blocked their attacks. However, their assault went beyond the mere physical world. They followed my trail from the distant north across the ley lines. They sought to corrupt the territory I protect. But I shall not let them succeed without a fight. We meet again, human Lupical.
So, are you saying that the wild hunt we just got attacked by came all the way from Nodcry to Mondstadt? How is that even?
As you know, I stand before you as an incomplete being. I am but one remnant of the god Andrias' soul, the source of this turmoil. I can sense it.
Huh? Now Paimon's even more confused. How can he be in two places at once?
For many gods, housing a part of their soul within an object is no difficult feat. But those who can perform such delicate partitions as this are rare, even among the gods. The Wolf King, Andrias, was particularly adept in this art. Otherwise, no remnants of his soul would have survived till the present day.
Huh? The bard's back?
Told Bard? What do you...
Maybe the god of Animo guided me here. For it appears that someone is in need of a tale from the distant past. And our wolf friend doesn't... Who better than a bard to do the honors? Lord Boreas, do I have your blessing to share this story?
As you wish.
Lupus Boreas wandered the frozen tundra and stumbled into the Sealy Hall. As the high tower crumbled and the fierce winds fell silent, Lupus Boreas, who once had hunted with the storm winds himself, looked within and inquired. Was that the wolf entrusted those under his protection to a new god? 500 bitter winters passed, then 500 equally frigid springs. He slumbered undisturbed until a knight stumbled in from the cold. The knight asked the wolf to join, seeing how the ice and... So, this is the world. Though the knight's journey was, he had written the end. Well, that's how a bard would tell the tale.
There is no need for you to ask that question.
So that's what happened. You returned to Mondstadt with that knight 1,000 years ago, and then...
You need not feel remorse on my account. That was my answer, my decision. If anyone should feel regret, it is the part of me who remained in Nodcry. I fear Andrias has not found peace in his heart even to this day. That is surely why those vile aberrations were...
But we followed Boreas' trail in Nodcry. We investigated and discovered no signs of instability.
Andrias should still be slumbering by the lakeside. Perhaps all the recent turmoil in Nodcry has had unforeseen consequences. And there's more. I detect another familiar scent from across the ley lines. A scent that reeks of blood.
Oh, the White Knight who became the Bloodstained Knight? The mightiest knight of Boreas? But wasn't he from 500...
I remember him as just a man. His lifespan should... It was the ancient kingdom of Conria, as you call it. Beyond that, I know not if he lived or died.
If you want to get to the bottom of this, I'm afraid you'll have to make another trip, as luck would have.
No wonder I can suddenly sense the east wind's presence.
As luck would have it, Another old friend of ours just so happens to be free right now. If you ask him nicely, he might give you a lift. That could save you a lot of time on the road. If even Mondstadt has been affected by the fallout, Nodcry must be in real trouble by now. I hope Varka...
Varka? Is he in danger?
I believe too many passengers would slow our dear friend down. I fear he only has room to carry one person, along with perhaps a diminutive companion.
Alright, wish it could be me, but I accept that we should send our strongest warrior to fight Nog. I'll stay here and deal with any wild hunt that try harassing Mondstadt.
I stay in Mondstadt too, with Traveler's help.
Razor, give me your iron claw. Golden-haired traveler, give this token to the current knight of Boreas. It is a wolf spirit. It contains my power and thoughts. Though I have given him a piece before, this should bring him new strength.
The Dominator of Wolves once bestowed the power of his soul upon his pet.
But human hearts and flesh cannot bear the soul of a wolf directly. It would be akin to forcefully merging a human and a wolf to prevent the entanglement of souls. Although, truth be told, that knight does not lack for the great wolf king of the north remains strong for now.
I will protect Lupakal. The north and Varka, I leave to you.
Just give me the word whenever you're ready. Any questions before you set off? Better ask now. You'll probably have to hit the ground running when you get to Nod. All right. Over to you, Dvalin.
The Knight of Boreas awaits below. We must part ways here. Barbatos and I have other plans. We will meet you again later.
All right. Hey, wait. How are we getting down?
Hold the line! The enemy's on the brink of collapse!
Grand Master! It's...
Haha! Reinforcements! It's about time!
And Paimon too.
We're just about hanging in there. Most of their grunts are taken care of now. Fight or flight? What will it be, mightiest knight of Boreas?
As expected, this hastily summoned Wild Hunt horde is nothing but a disorganized rabble. A mere shadow of the forces gathered by the Rahir of Sol. But they have served their purpose. I now understand your tactics, and you, in turn, understand mine. This is fair. This farewell, heir to the knighthood of Boreas. Whether you choose to resist me or not, I shall set right the injustices of this world. In the name of the blood-stained...
Guess they're retreating.
So that Wolf of the North lookalike, that was Andreas? But why would he...
There's no point chasing after him. We've crossed blades already, and it ended in a stalemate. Right now, there's nothing we could do about him. True. We're still not certain of his true identity. Killing him might be just about possible, especially now that you're here. The difficult part is, we can't kill him right now.
Huh? What do you mean?
No. Judging from our skirmishes so far, I don't think he's got any special abilities of that caliber. Nor does he have the ridiculous level of power wielded by the Five Sinners. But, compared to Rerir, our current foe clearly has a better understanding of how to exploit Nodcry to his advantage. Particularly when it comes to Andrias's... Exactly. Sounds like you realize I managed to cut off a sample from our foe, which Albedo and Durin are analyzing as we speak. We still have some big challenges ahead before this expedition.
The meeting's probably gonna be in the biggest tent, right? Looks like a bunch of people are there already.
Hey, good to see you again. Oh, Boss Sneff asked me to pass on a message. She went to see Lauma and Columbina at the Frostmoon Scions. Apparently, there haven't been any changes to that space the Rahier of Solnari's in.
That means the recent wild hunt attacks have nothing to do with Rerir, right? Whew, that's a relief. Paimon doesn't...
They're keeping a close watch on it just in case. Oh yeah, Lauma and Columbina asked me to pass on a message too. Focus? You know something? These Knights of Favonius are paying me a pretty nice sum to deliver a few simple messages.
Hey, Honorary Knight. Albedo and Durin are just wrapping up their analysis. That works too. Hey, Honorary Knight. Albedo and Durin are just wrapping up their... Great! And that's where things stand. Nari's control. Intel from the Frostmoon Scions and the Curator...
Summarizing current situation. To confirm, the present leader of the Wild Hunt is the creature resembling a wolf.
More precisely, it's the external will that has seized control of Andrias's spirit.
Whoa. Hold on. I'm completely lost. Isn't Roland some Mondstadter from like 500 years? How'd he suddenly get wrapped up with a god from 1,000 years in the past and the present-day Wild Hunt?
Allow us to explain that part. Are you familiar with compensation mechanisms? When an organism sustains damage, relevant tissues will undergo changes to offset the loss of function. For example, when one kidney is damaged, the other will be strengthened to compensate. Or, when a main artery is blocked, the collateral vessels become more active. Similarly, when the Wild Hunt lost their leader, the Abyss harnessed the memories that flow throughout the ley lines to fashion a new one. Fit for that new leader is a mirror image of Roland, the Bloodstained Knight.
Right. No matter how strong the compensation is, it will never quite match the functionality of the original organ. The Roland replica can't possibly imitate Rarir's so the Abyss made use of the connect.
The replica corrupted into control of Andrias, however.
I guess he must have gotten caught up with the Abyss.
Okay, Paimon gets all that, but what did you mean when you said we can't kill him right?
You can't kill him right now. From intelligence gathered during... Worse still, the wrath that remains after a god's passing becomes a source of endless turmoil. Once god remains contaminate the land, they will persist for thousands of years. This land has already been ravaged by the Wild Hunt. If we...
Query. While I can in that land, the passing of the Pyro Archon's flame is a common occurrence throughout history, and even the part of Andrias who remains in Mondstadt has experienced death once before.
Great question. Glad you asked. Honorary Knight, you said Lupus Boreas gave you a token to pass on to me? Come forth, Boreas!
This form has come to the end. My soul do not grieve for me.
You saw it too. You must have keen powers of perception. Not that it surprises me. That was Boreas' final thoughts before merging with the ley lines. In his final moments, he made a choice to give everything he was to the ley lines. All to protect Mondstadt from harm.
Sounds like Andreas spent thousands of years searching for...
Yes. And now, only then can he break free from the corruption and control of the Abyss, and make that decision once more.
I see. I would say...
Wait, we already have a perfect solution? Then why are we even having this meeting? Let's go do this thing!
Ha ha ha. If only it were that simple. We need to find a way to make the thought within the...
For now, Boreas needs all his remaining strength. However, since his form was unstable, if we can collect those fragments...
You don't need to worry about that. As if most of them are already inside this sword.
Huh? Wait.
I mean, it's an expedition, not a stroll in the park. Each step of the way we've been hard at work, not just the wild hunt in the Abyss, but ancient gods remaining in Nodcry.
Sounds like this plan was a long time in the making. It's almost as if you...
As a matter of fact, I did. I caught a glimpse of fate's reflection. But I can't take credit for it. Still, instead, we've had to make best guess. Sure is. Just one crucial step remains. According to what but of course...
Okay.
I managed to gather one... As for the third fragment, the final...
With our foe being...
And since the...
The Clink Clink Krumkake craft shop will also help in any way with...
So what do they need me here for? Wait, I think maybe I signed a contract at some point. Didn't exactly scrutinize it though. I mean, who actually reads those things anyway, right?
Ah, great. Knew I could count on you all. Lastly, our friend from the Curatorium of Secrets will provide intel and relay battlefield communications. Looking at you, Yehoda.
So, you'll be darting back and forth across the battlefield, dodging the wild hunt and the shadow of an ancient god. I'm impressed by your courage, Miss Yehoda.
Rating for Yehoda updated. Higher quality ingredients will be used to prepare your future meals.
Darn it! I should have known this payday wouldn't come that easy.
I'll deal with the second wolf spirit fragment, which we already know the Traveler, could you join me in retrieving... All right, time is of the essence. Let's move out.
Didn't you say fragment 2 was supposed to be right here? Where the heck is it?
Seems like we've run into a slight hindrance. Can I leave this to you, Honorary Knight? Traveler, Paimon, when this is all over, I'm gonna invite you around for a drink of...
Whoa! Stop thinking about Mondstadt's wine and keep your head in the game! You can't be daydreaming about alcohol before a battle!
Huh? Well, all right, just trying to lift our spirits a little. You want to see some photos I took of me and the knights before the expedition, maybe?
Shut up! Can we please just focus on finding the wolf spirit fragment? were looking for?
I once got Boreas to explain to me how he stores his soul inside objects. All I need to do is just like back at the camp. But this time, you'd best step...
So, you're saying you don't know how to love people, and you don't understand human love either. Sorry, I just think the fact you're ruminating on this is all the proof you need that you have love in your heart. I have a funny feeling that by the time this journey ends...
No, you're wrong. There is no redemption at the end of this path. Even if I am stained black with blood, my conscience will remain as white as snow. If pledging allegiance to the Abyss is the only way to sever the injustice of fate, then I shall serve in its name.
Oh, sure enough, this place has been corrupted by Roland's will. Whew. I'm fine. I was prepared for this. It wasn't enough to We got here just in time. The fragment hasn't been fully corrupted yet. Assuming we can undo the damage, it should... Purifying the abyssal corruption would definitely be a safe approach. But that's not the only reason I wanted you to come. Could you try reversing the corruption? Not pure...
So, keep the Roland part intact as well as the wolf spirit part?
Firstly, to test whether it's possible. And secondly, let me think. How is it explained? Actually, neither do I.
Huh. Sounds like something a certain tone-deaf bard would come up with when he can't think of anything meaningful to say. Wait, don't tell Paimon that's what actually happened.
I thought it might mean something to you. Never mind. I'll explain it more Traveler, when you were in Natland, you went fishing for ancient names, correct? If I'm not mistaken, the Night Kingdom was like a river flowing with concepts, and
Okay, but back then...
this wolf...
Thoughts and emotions are like interwoven threads. They can create a net, or they can create a rope. A thought is the anchor for a being's existence.
Also, we barely know anything about Roland.
Well, maybe you could try this.
What is it? It looks old.
It's an unsent letter, written by the wolf pup Rostam, Knight of Boreas, from 500 years ago. It was meant for his disciple, the White Knight Roland. After Rostam lost his life in the Abyssal Calamity, but trying to track...
Quite the...
Yeah.
Hey, what if...
What can I say? But anyway, don't they say that poetry and letters were humanity's earliest means of expressing their thoughts? Can't hurt to give it a try, surely. Whoa.
You really are making this up as you...
So the assimilation of souls really can be reversed, just like he said.
If what you say, the monsters I've slain, the justice I have sought to uphold, a great and ancient kingdom was wrongfully cursed, turning its inhabitants into monsters, the code of chivalry tolerates not such injustice. If Abyss be thy name, I pledge to you my...
And that is where the blood-stained knight's tale came to an end. With that, he bade his humanity farewell. I dare say you must find it quite ironic. Not...
That I... Dainsleif? No. It bore a striking resemblance, but that wasn't him. While we gazed into the past, he was gazing right back at us. could it be? So that's what happened. After leaving Mondstadt and wandering the land, once he had learned of Conria's fate, he saw the gods' judgment as the greatest injustice. So he surrendered, giving them his knowledge, his power, his everything. That's why the...
Uh-oh. Does this...
I'm inclined to agree. If our enemy could see the future, both the Wild Hunt and Roland would be acting with far more lethal precision. But even without the Visionary's input, Roland still has an intel advantage we can't afford to underestimate. Every minion of the Wild Hunt serves as Roland's eyes and ears. We need to think one step ahead if we want to outmaneuver him. And on that note, I have a plan I want to discuss. Well... that about covered. No plan is free of writ. If I fail, Anselm and Albedo can take the reins.
Oh,
If only there were. But I don't think our enemy will give us enough time to find one.
Hey! Are you guys done here yet?
Ah, Yehoda! Yes, we've succeeded.
Nope. It's a total disaster. More wild...
Come on, we're out of time. You'll just have...